beautiful creatives, welcome back. So I said I was going to make a shawl collar, and then when I saw this picture I knew it was a sign for me to deliver on my promise. So to make this jacket, these are the process I'm going to follow. I'm going to draft out a basic bodice because of the beginners, and then from there develop the shawl collar. And once I'm done doing that, I'm going to be showing how to make the back pattern, like I said, because of the beginners. So let's get started. Now, as you can see on my pattern, I already indicated 6 inches before my shoulder line, and reasons because that is where I'm going to be drafting the back collar. So just go ahead and leave allowance before you mark your shoulder line. And then as you can see on the center front, I left 4 inches allowance before my center front. So just go ahead and leave allowance before you mark your center front. Now I'm just going to mark on the shoulder line. I'm going to divide my shoulder measurement by 2, and then I'll mark this down on the shoulder line. And from that point where I marked the shoulder line, I'll be dropping my shoulder by 1 inch. This is also known as a slope. So I'm just going to mark 1 inch slope down from the shoulder point, and then I'll connect this to the neckline. Now from the slope, I'll be marking my armhole. So go ahead and divide your round armhole by 2, and then mark that point down from the slope. And I'll also go ahead and confirm if what I marked on my shoulder point is what I have here on the armhole line. So if it's not, just go ahead and adjust it. Now I'm just going to connect my armhole line or my armhole point to the slope with a straight line, and I also rule an horizontal line, and this is where the curve will be sitting. Now the next thing is for me to mark the points. So the first point is the bust point. So I'll place my tape from the shoulder line, and then I'll mark my bust point. So if you're doing this on your pattern or your fabric, make sure you follow the steps. Leave your allowance for your collar before you start marking. Now I'll place my tape also and go down to mark my waist point, which is also going to be the length. And you guys, this pattern is going to have a dart. My jacket is going to have a dart, and it is not necessary for you to make a dart, but because of what I want to achieve, the inspiration, I'm trying to make my jacket look a little bit like the jacket that inspired this tutorial. So I'm just going to label this out. This is the bust and this is the length, or also the waist. Now I'm just going to go ahead and mark my apex. This is nipple to nipple. You place the tape from one nipple to the other and divide whatever number you get by 2. Now you mark this from the center front in, and mine is 4, so I just marked that down on the bust and on the waist. Now on the waist, the apex line, I'll be marking 1/2 inch. I'm marking 1/2 inch on the left from the apex line and 1/2 inch on the right on the apex line. Now when you calculate this, I have 1 inch that's on the waist line. So now on the box apex line, I'll go down by 1 inch like this. I'm using a black marker so you see my darts. I'll connect that point to the 1/2 inch darts on each side of the waist. So I'm just going to go like this, and then I'll go like this. Now you can see my darts, and my darts is indicated with a black marker. The next thing to do is to divide the round bust by 4. Divide my round bust by 4, and then I'll mark this down on my bust line. I'll just go ahead and connect the line to the armhole line like this. So to create the curve on the armhole, I'm going to find the middle point on my armhole, or indicate the middle point, and from the middle point I'll mark 1/2 inch in. Because this is the front you have to go in by 1/2 inch. Now I'm just going to connect like this with a curve. And there you have it, the front armhole. I'll go ahead and divide my round waist by 4, and then I'll mark this down on the waistline. And also don't forget to replace your darts. If you're making your jacket with a dart, don't forget to replace that back on your pattern. So now that I'm done replacing the darts, I'll go ahead and connect this straight to the bust line from the waist. Now we're going to be working on the neck width, and the neck width I'll be using for this jacket is 3.5 inches. So go ahead and make that decision of how wide you want your neck to be. That is the width, wideness. And now mark the front neck depth, 3 inches. I'll be using 3 inches on my basic bodice. I'll connect both points together with a curve. So if you don't have a curve ruler, just wing it, girl. Just go ahead and make dots. Just connect this. So now to create the collar, the first thing we're going to be doing is marking our break points. So but before that, I'll be marking 1 inch on all sides. So I'm just coming out from my center front. I'm coming out by 1 inch. I'm just going to rule a straight line. So I'ma treat you better than your last five. No matter what you do, ain't nobody tell me shit about you. I really can't explain the things you do, but it makes me crazy over you. 1 inch. To create the break points, I'll place the tape and go down by 3 inches from the bust line. So I'll just place the tape like this and go down by 3 inches from on the bust line. So you can decide to make your break points lower or higher than the 3 inches. Just make the decision. Now connect this break points to the neck width. So now I have to use my long ruler for this, so I can be able to get it right. And I have to change my marker so you guys will see that I am like, this is different from the bodies we had before, the busy bodies we created. So after connecting, what I will do is extend the line, and to extend the line, I'm going to place my tape on my back pattern, and then I'll find out what I have there. I have 3.5 inches as the neck width. That is what I'll be extending this line with. So I think you have to create your back pattern before you create your front pattern to make your jacket. So you know what you have on your neck width, and then you connect. That is what you're going to use to extend this line width at this point. So once I am done extending, I'm just going to go in by 1/2 inch. I'll just go in by 1/2 inch here so that the collar will be able to sit properly. Now I'll be connecting that 1/2 inch back to the neck width. I don't know if you guys get. It's really easy. After taking the 1/2 inch, you just go ahead and connect it back to the neck width. And then you know the neck width is already connected to the break point. Now I'll be marking the width of my collar. And because of the jacket that inspired my own jacket, like I said, I want my collar to be, I don't want it to be exaggerated. I want it to be really small. So I'm using 3 inches as my collar width. So just go ahead and make the decision of how wide you want your collar to be. And how wide I want my collar to be for me is 3 inches. So I'll connect both points like this. And now I'm just going to connect my collar width to the break points. So I started off using my curve ruler, but then it is not that big. The curve ruler cannot get to my collar width. So what I'll do is I'll go in with my curve ruler first, and then I'll use my straight ruler to finish this job. You can use your hand. Just make sure you're creative about it. And at this point, you can just create whatever color you want, however you want your collar to be. You can just go ahead and do that. It's your design. So just go ahead and make what suits you. So now that I'm done connecting, I'm just going to use my hand to adjust this, because as you can see there, it's not looking all that clean. I'm just adjusting. Now I'm just going to mark 1/2 inch on my pattern as the sewing allowance. You can decide to leave 1 inch or more. It is your clothes, it is your outfit, so go ahead and decide what you want to do. So but I will be adding just 1/2 inch as the allowance on the pattern, and you guys, that is it. Now my pattern is ready. I'll cut out my front shawl collar, and then we'll go ahead, and for the beginners, we'll go ahead and see how you can be able to create your back pattern. You guys, please let me know if I did a good job in explaining how I made this pattern. Just let me know in the comment section, and if you're new, you're welcome. You can go ahead and subscribe. It is absolutely free, and when you just subscribe so you get notifications whenever I post a new video. And trust me, I won't want to bore you, so I'm going to bring in my A game. I am ready to put in the work as far as you guys are ready to watch, because I'm crazy about making outfits, so I hope you guys are crazy about watching my videos too. So on the back pattern, I already indicated the points. That's the bust line and the length, which is also the waist. The shoulder is there, the armhole line is there. What we're just going to do now is start from the apex. Now I'm just going to mark my nipple to nipple, just as we did on the front pattern. We'll mark our apex. And now I have my apex. I'm just going to extend the armhole line in. And why is because the dart on the back pattern is higher than the front pattern. So on the armhole line, I'm going to come down by 1/2 inch. I'll just place my tape here, come down by 1/2 inch. And now I'll mark the 1/2 inch I did on the front pattern for the dart. I'll mark on each side of the apex line. I'll mark my 1/2 inch, which is 1 inch in total. And now I'll connect the 1/2 inch darts, which is 1 inch, to the 1/2 inch I came down from on the armhole line, like this. The difference between the front pattern and the back pattern is just these 3 things. That's if you're making darts, it is 3. So the difference is the darts, the armhole, and the neck depth. So I'll go ahead and mark my round bust divided by 4. I'll mark this down, and then I'll connect the line to the armhole line. I'll find the middle point just as we did on the front, and then I'll connect the middle point directly to the armhole line that is meeting the bust line, and that is it. Now I'm just going to mark my waist divided by 4, and then I'll replace the darts. There's darts to be replaced on the bust line now, so I replace that too, and I'll connect this. And you guys, I'm just going to go ahead and mark the allowance 1/2 inch, just as we did on the front pattern. 1/2 inch sewing allowance. And now I'm marking the neck width. Remember, the neck width for the front pattern too was 3.5, so this too is 3.5. The neck width is 3.5, and the neck depth is 1 inch. So I'm using 1 inch, so go ahead and mark 1 inch if that is what you want to use. I'll connect both points together. And like I said, the difference between the back pattern and the front pattern is the armhole, the neckline, and if you're adding that to your pattern, also the darts is the different. And you guys, that is it. I'll go ahead and cut out my pattern, and there we are done with this tutorial. So here is my back pattern, and here is my front pattern. You guys, thank you for watching. I'll be uploading the sewing version soon, and also I'll be uploading a video on how to make a sleeve pattern. Thank you guys, and I'll be seeing you on my next video. I love you so much. I really appreciate you guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and give this video a thumbs up. I want to see your thumbs up. Bye.